Hey everyone, looks like we are live. We made it to yet another week. It's so great to see everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm looking forward to talking with you tonight about art and all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for that. Let's see who we have today. So we have a great group already. Mr. Dan, all the way from Indiana. How are you today? Mr. JC, how's it going? Good to see you from the Atlanta area. We have Mr. Tone from Brooklyn. How are you, sir? Great to see you. And we have Mr. Dwayne San Luis de Obispo. Go Banana Slugs. No Mustangs, not Banana Slugs. And then we have Thunder 2165. Raul, how are you today? I'm finally recognizing your alter Google ego there. I don't know if it's your dark side or your good side or just a neutral side. Always good to see you, my talented friend. So that's cool. Look at all these great people here. So glad you're all here. And so that's fantastic. Great to see everyone. You're all amazing. So I am coming to the end of this painting here, which is good, right? So I'm happy that the end of the painting is happening soon. So that's going to be great. Uh, let's see if anyone else joined us today. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. So great group here, and so I'm so happy to see everyone. Got to get the paper towels. They're like the most important thing, right? So we got to make sure that we have enough. What I like to do, and I'll tell you a little, it's not a trick, but a little technique that I love that really helps because you're always grabbing, Oh, Mr. Dan said he finished his Drew Blair painting. I'd love to see it. Send it to me via instant message, and I'll bring it onto the at the 10:15 mark. I'll go ahead and show it to everyone here. So that would be great, definitely. So congratulations with Drew Blair's project. He's an amazing teacher. So that's fantastic. I love to hear that. And I can't wait to see it. So what I like to do is basically cut these into little strips because if you use a whole paper towel, chances are you'll draw out a lot that, you haven't used. Oh, okay. Let's see. There you go, Dan. That would be pretty good. And then I'll download it and bring it on over into the live chat, which would be great. So these are manageable little towelettes, so to speak, which really helps. A lot of times you just want to grab a little piece to get get the stuff off your hands. Okay. So hey, Mr. Kyle, all the way from PA. How's it going, my friend? Great to see you. Did you guys get hit with a lot of snow as well? I think Hershey got, I think something like 10 to 12 inches, right? We got 30 inches of snow. So that was the most snow I've seen since 2016. It was close. I think it was like 29 inches in 2016. That's still 10 years away. So that's a while. So let's see if we can get the palette cam going. Also, a really good tip. Rather than mess up your wet palette, you actually could pick up one of these. It's a little, it's called Gray Matters paper palette. It's approximately 6 by 9. You get 30 sheets for about $5. And what you do is you tear this off and then you put it in there. So now the wet palette is probably the most amazing thing you're ever going to use. Just watch. This is from 2 days ago, and this paint is still creamy, but it gets even better. Now, if we go over here, this paint is approximately 2 weeks old, and just look how creamy that is. It's insane. I mean, even some of the paint that isn't the open line by uh, by Golden, which has slow drying inhibitors inhibitors in there, it still lasts that long, which is really unbelievable. It's just so incredible. So highly recommend it. It's really really amazing. Okay, thanks, Dan. So we'll definitely make that happen. So thanks for sharing that. At 10:30, we are going to see Mr. Dan's painting that he did in Drew Blair's class. So I'm looking forward to that. And then my grays. These are still juicy, which is unbelievable. I think I have like another 2 days out of these. Now, when I feel that they're starting to dry out, here's a nice little tip. You guys getting all kinds of tips today. So this right here by Golden is their open thinner, and it works really well with their open line of acrylic paints. However, it also works with different brands. Winsor & Newton, Utrecht, what else do I use? Blick. Blick has their own artist acrylics, which are really good. So when I feel that they're starting to get dry, oh yeah. Oh, you didn't get it too bad. Yeah, we got nailed. We got nailed. 30 inches here in New Jersey. Kyle says, luckily, mainly rain. Oh, that's so cool. And so Tone didn't get hit too bad. That's good. And Dan says, hope I'll stay awake. I go to bed early. I'll tell you what. Let's do it right away then, because I want everyone to see the great work that you're doing in Drew's class. So I'm putting some of this open slow drying liquid here, and where I feel that it might want to get a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 drops. 1 drop is fine. And then, my friends, I will take my palette knife, and it's no use putting the slow drying stuff if you don't mix it. This color, the number 8, is starting to get a little juicy, so like I said, I have another day from this, but putting in this slow drying open thinner by Golden will give me another 2 days. Hey, Airbrush Dungeon, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you. How you been, sir? Mr. Taris. I have a metal, I think the metal palette knife is far more effective. So let me get that palette knife. Let's see. Here we go. This mixes much better. I could zoom in. And just, taking that slow drying liquid and mixing that in with the paint, giving it a chance to kind of work with the chemistry. That will give me another 2 days. So we're looking at 2.5, almost 3 weeks of this paint on the surface. When working in acrylic, the best thing to do is use a lot of paint. More paint has more volume, and more volume does not dry as fast. So with acrylic paint, whether you're working in airbrush or anything, your enemy is evaporation. If you could slow down the evaporation time, then you're in good shape. All right, so that was my next tip of the day. And let's go back here. There we go. Okay, so now you see my palette. Now, the next thing is we're going to check out Dan's work. Let's see. So I'm going to go to my email, hit refresh. It'll just be one quick. All right, let's see. So, my friend, I did not get the email at paintedglyphs@gmail.com. I'll even check if it's in the spam folder. Not that I would put you in spam. No? Yeah, if you can resend that, my friend, that would be great. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this portrait here. And let's see, what is it that we can refine, right? That's the main question. And also, Dan, if we're Facebook friends, you can send that to Facebook. That would work. Okay. So remember, we got all kinds of tools. We got paintbrush, we got airbrush, we have colored pencils, and oh, not on Facebook. Oh, you forwarded to Ink Flingers. Ink Flingers? I don't know if I have an email address at Ink Flingers. Let's see. Oh, now I found it. Great. Perfect. Wonderful painting. Okay. So now I saved it. I'm going to bring it on over to show everybody. Let's see. Just drag this over. Actually, I probably have to do it this way. Let's see. We'll go to Image, Downloads. Wow, this is amazing. So this is a painting by Dan right here. And look how amazing this is, everybody. This is absolutely wonderful. And we just got to see where this file is. There we go, over here. All right. This is really amazing. I just can't say enough how incredible this piece is. Just so this is acrylic. This is with his 50/50 illustration, his illustration colors. Yeah, as I agree with Mr. JC. Just incredible work. Look at that. That's incredible. Let me make sure that we're seeing it right now. Uh, we're not seeing it. So let me know you guys are seeing Dan's painting. So from here, it looks like I am. There we go. Okay. And, okay, so now we're seeing it correctly. And I'm really loving it. Yeah, it really does. It definitely has a more of a feeling of a painting than a photograph. And I like that. That's what I look for. And really, the way that the values are unified and compressed is really great. And that's why, Drew's such an amazing teacher. And look at the hair. That's really amazing. Just the way that the hair is organic, right? So fantastic. And for these little hairs, did you use an airbrush or a paintbrush up here, sir? Oh, airbrush, very nice. That exhibits a lot of control, definitely. Very beautiful work. And I love the understated detail of the teeth in the mouth because it's in shadow, which is really wonderful. So that's really great, really amazing. Oh wow, with one of his stencils. You mean for the little hairs, you use one of his stencils? Oh wow, that's really incredible. Really loving it. So everyone, uh, we thank we thank Mr. Dan for showing his work. If anyone is interested in showing their work on the live stream, just let me know and we'll go ahead and put that on there. But really amazing stuff. Just super amazing stuff. So thank you so much for that. Now I have to find, I think this is the one. No? Oh, there it is. That was great. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. I want to celebrate your talent. Every one of you is so talented. Oh, a Zoom class. So cool. Very cool. And okay, so now I'm going to come in. I'm going to use Pure Ref. I'm going to get my reference going. And we're going to. Oh, you're welcome, Dan. My pleasure. Thank you for sharing, sir. Really amazing. So let me go ahead and hit the autofocus. And when I do that, then I know it's in focus. We have the autofocus on. Okay, great. Now I could take it off. All right, now we're in good shape. So to get into the swing of things, let's see. What I really want to do is I want to work on this area of her neck here. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of work on some of this detail here. So I'm going to get that color. Let's see. That's such a beautiful color here. And I'm going to mix it. Oh, that's a little dark, but I'm going to go with it. And look and see. Okay, so that's an orange. Well, that's a little too dark, so let me go lighter. At the end of the painting, you pretty much know the direction you're going. You don't need too much help. Okay. So this is very much a spectral color. So with my Gideon vector, it basically teaches you how to mix any color really quickly. All right, this color is easy. Let me go ahead and make it happen. And I'm going to mix that right now. And I'm going to actually mix that with a paintbrush. I don't usually do it, but I'm just going to flip the script today. So let's come over here. Bring this back. All right, know what I have to do. Come here and look at my program here. And just make sure you keep your brush clean when you're mixing. I'm very close to where I want to be already. I'm just going to add a little bit to kind of quiet this up a bit. So I'm going to add this color with my brush, and then I'm going to add it with the airbrush. Let's go make this happen. Let's just see how this works here. Very nice. So I'm very close to the color I was looking for. Hey, Mr. Roy, how's it going? Great to see you. JC says, Tim, love the skin tone, many layers to get there, and lots of patience. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so the layering thing is like Mr. JC said, it just takes a lot of patience, and it's scary. You want it to come out good right away, and then when you have those in between moments, it's pretty rough. And now I'm kind of setting up a little bit of a structure here, and then I'll come in with the airbrush with that same color and soften it up. Oh, you definitely could do colored portraits. When my book comes out, it's going to tell you all about color. It's going to open color to you like you wouldn't believe. I think I need a little more of a dark color in here. Just to darken this up a bit. But notice I want to maintain some life into her shadows. So, Mr. Roy, all the way from Jersey. Great to see you, sir. Now I'm going to come in with a lighter color. Let's see how this goes. And then I'll blend this out. And just like oils, you have to have a lot of different brushes that are clean so you can work back and forth. Now, acrylics, you got to be very careful. So it wants to dry slow. So you have to create an environment that's going to slow that drying down. Hey Liz, how you doing? Thank you so much. Liz says his piece is masterful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I got a lot to show you about my breakthroughs with acrylic, Liz. You're gonna love it. And notice how I'm just working. Now, one of the things is I'm going to add this stuff, my open acrylic medium. I'm gonna put that right here, and I'll be able to do something that is quite interesting. So I'm going to add another brush. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to lay down that medium right here. Like remember what I said, you want to change the environment. So I'm actually going to lay down some of this drying inhibitor. Not that much, just a little. And now we're changing the environment, you know? Now we can come back in with that darker color that we established before. Now this surface is like, it's like oil paints right now. So if anyone ever, oh, thank you so much, Liz. I used impasto. I've been using a lot of gels and mediums and everything like that, and using the open line with the wet palette. It's a lot of fun, and it feels like oils. It really does. This will actually stay wet for at least 25 minutes. Now, once again, if I want to work behind that ear, first I'll just lay down some of this open matte medium that has drying inhibitors into it, and kind of creates an environment that slows down the evaporation, right? And if it slows down that evaporation, then really good things start happening. Now what I want to do is I want to blend into a lighter color than there. So once again, I'm just going to make sure that I put down this here. Oh, definitely. I'll definitely get you set up, you know? I mean, you will love this because it has the feel of acrylics and oil at the same time. So I'm going to use my Gideon vector and hit that lighter color. So let me do that right now. Okay, maybe a little bit lighter, but we'll start with this color. Oh, I can see it's a very spectral orange color. Ooh, a little bit of a desaturated orange. That's fascinating. Ooh, and then there's the third color that really lightens it up. So I'm kind of loving this right now. So right now I have to mix this color. Again, I'm going to do it with the paintbrush without the palette knife just to change things up. Yeah, I'm getting that kind of dirty color. But there is something in photonic realism where if a color gets dirty, we have a really nice answer for that. So the book's going to have all that information. All right, so first part's done. Now, remember with an acrylic, the more water you put in, the faster it will dry. So stay away from water. I seem to be happy with this color. Let's see if we can just, oh yeah, just kind of add that slowly. And it doesn't have to be the golden open acrylics. I mean, there's a way around it if you have other brands. So that's comforting to know. I'm having no problem blending all of these. And again, you know, my whole motto is to make sure you put down that open thinner. Make sure you have a clean brush for that. You know, it's like use all your brushes, clean them afterwards. Don't worry. Do a good painting. Make sure you clean your brush in between and get rid of excess water. And we'll get some more blending brushes here. Kind of blend this in. And now we'll come in with the lighter color. But I'm really having no trouble blending these in here, these colors. Oh, thank you so much. So I am probably going to be done sometime in the spring. I'm finishing up some new chapters and illustrations and everything. It's only going to be about $39. It's going to be a nice compact book that people are going to be able to use it as a reference guide, which is great. You know, when you're painting. So this another color is pretty nice. And let's see, that's a pretty light color. Let's come in with this. And remember, even when you're painting in acrylics, the thicker you're working, the better. Let's see how this works here. Maybe a little too bright. We'll just darken it up a little bit. Just a tad. And then there's going to be an online course for it. Okay, now we'll come in and do some blending. And then what I would like to do is maybe come in with a glaze, which would be nice. And now maybe I'll work on something a little bit different. So I'm going to change my little disposable palette on my wet palette. Take this off and get a new one. Let me show you. So what I do is I will take this right here and I'll just tear out a sheet. Put it right here. And of course it won't stick, but that's why I have these magnets. There's nothing metal underneath, it's just weights at this point. And now I'm not screwing with my surface. I have a fresh mixing area, which is, you know, optimal, which is great. Oh, Mr. Tone says is my no, not that I think of. I mean, oh, you know, it might be leaking because of my airbrush. One of my airbrushes has a leaky valve, that's all. But yeah, so that's why it goes off. Very, very true. That's so funny. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want it to be a little bit more of a golden color. But I'm going to wait for the airbrush for that. But what I want to do is come in here and kind of hit that. Let's see. So once again, I'm going to come in. I want to have a nice golden color. And then I'm setting up for some really nice glazes after this. Now that may be a little dark, very much so. So now I can just come in and adjust this. And once again, you want to set it up, right? So that's important. But the trick is to keep your brushes nice and clean and not wet. I'm going to apply some of this medium here to slow down the drying. Okay, now I'm going to come back in with this. And it's all about the setup, you know? Got this here, and now get the other color. And just blend it out and then come in with the airbrush. So we have to work on getting these lights bright enough that are facing the light source. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll get my airbrush right here, and we'll see if we could get this going. What did I have in this airbrush earlier? I did have this interesting red color here. Let me see if I could use that as a glaze. I think this red might have been a little too powerful. Let's take a look. Yeah, but I think we can do something with this. Let's see. We can use a nice red glaze here. And you're just pumping that trigger, which is an important thing to do, meaning that you're not going to be on and off, on and off. Tim, would you consider this a chiaroscuro painting? Because it does resemble one. Definitely. And that's a great point. So, yes, it's very Caravaggio-esque, right? Or Giuseppe de Ribera, something like that. So now I'm adding a nice glaze to this, a red glaze, just to infuse some of that subsurface scattering that is caused when light actually penetrates the skin, bounces around, and then comes out. Liz, how did you do with the snow? I've been hearing some horror stories about your town, Staten Island. Now I'm going to get this, and this has my white and orange mixture, and I just have to clean it and get it ready. Okay. Has a lot of tip dry on it. And then I'm just going to get one of these little Q-tips here and clean this off. And then we'll work on this area. Bring some fresh water in there. And Mr. JC says it reminds him when the lights would go off in the 80s and turn candle to light. Yes, that very candlelight. Yeah, that's exactly it. See, the whole thing with photonic realism is one light source, one story. Not to get involved with too much ambient light, you know? And when we do that, it tells a clearer story of what's happening with the light. You can develop the forms better. It's like the whole thing about photonic realism. Chiaro, light, claro, obscuro, dark, obscuro. I want to learn Italiano. Very cool. So I think it's cleared out already. So I do have my orange and white mixture pre-mixed. So I can just grab that out of the bottle. Believe it or not, I think we're almost ready to go. So you're just making sure there are no bubbles, no paint coming out before, paint coming out before you actually pull back the trigger, that kind of stuff. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. JC says I'm great at it. I appreciate it. I had so many great teachers, they're just so amazing. Particularly Harvey Dinnerstein, my mentor. Okay, we're going to test this out on some cardboard or something. Let's see. Ah, it's not coming out. So we're in good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the air pressure a little bit. Just want to kind of unify this light here. And remember always the 1 second rule. We never get away from it. I'm going to choke down that air pressure a little bit more. Then just looking for those beautifully strong lights. Just overemphasize, not overemphasize, but really emphasize that light on the zygomatic bone. Further away, lighter to spray. So if you want a really soft gradation, you just increase your distance. Really compress those values. Okay, so now I'm pretty happy with that light. So I established that light. Now I'm going to come in with my raw sienna and I'm going to dump this out, this beautiful red I have here. And then I have the raw sienna already pre-mixed, which is great. So definitely pre-mix your main palette, this way, you don't have to do that when you're painting. There's going to be a little bit of red in here. And if I see anything like on the bottom of the cup, I just get a Q-tip and I'll just, clean it out rather than have that go into the nozzle, like right in here, just like that. Sometimes paint likes to solidify, so you grab it before it goes through that nozzle. And this is a really nice golden color, so I think we're in good shape now, believe it or not. That was fast. But remember, when you have something like a dominant red, just make sure you clean that cap. If you don't, that will come back to haunt you. Okay, so I had the pre-mixed raw sienna right here, which is wonderful for skin tones. You could use the Wicked Detail raw sienna, which is great, or you could use Golden's High Flow raw sienna, which is also excellent. Let's see how this goes. And again, we'll test it on some cardboard. Everything looks good. So what Drew Blair said, never really let your paintbrush dry, Oh, Mr. JC says, well, Tim, great looking. Great job, looking great. I have to leave. Catch the rest later. Thanks for sharing. Good night. Red looks like to bleed the most. Yes, that's true. And JC, have a great night, man. Don't work too hard. Say hi to the fam for me. And I hope you have a great weekend coming up soon. So now I have this raw sienna. And I'm not going crazy with it. I'm going to ease into it, right? Just pumping that trigger. Letting it catch up, right? I'm not trying to, force things. Just let let it catch up. I'm not worried about having it perfect. Oh, that's so great. Night, guys. Take care. JC has a beautiful family. Very, very rich man. So you can see I'm starting to assimilate that. I'm going to let that kind of catch up. And then I'm going to bring in some more airbrush with the white and orange mixture. Okay, so now we'll continue to kind of lighten this up here a little bit, but always looking at my reference first. This is the sternocleidomastoid coming down. Like I said, further away, lighter to spray. So if you need it, just very subtle, just increase your distance, lower your air pressure. Okay. Let that kind of set. Don't go straight in. Let that dry, and then we'll come in with Divorce Sienna. And I may come in and glaze a longer color. I mean, a warmer color. The neck in a woman's portrait is very expressive. And we want to make sure that we handle it correctly. just ever so subtle. Then we can get one of our freehand shields as soon as I find it. Here we go, found it rather quickly. The messier my studio is, the quicker I find stuff. I'm about 6 inches away. I'm just lightly pumping that trigger. See how I kind of gave some clarity to her clavicle? Not my clavicle, hers. Further away, lighter the spray. So I'm getting very, 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 very subtle here. Right here it is, just slightest little bit. Show that clavicle off. Okay, so now we're going to let that sit. We're going to come back in with divorce sienna, kind of work that back and forth. I see a little bit of the underplane of the clavicle, of the sternocleidomastoid, so I want to adjust that. I may do that with colored pencil, I'm not sure. But options are always great, right? Okay, so I'm really happy with that. And I want to do some clarifying spray here in the face while I'm here. Just kind of bring some life to her. Remember, it's the soft transitions that are going to make it real. We as humans, we like we like contrast for some reason. So, but when we paint, we really shouldn't be going for contrast. We should go for those really soft gradations, not only from light to dark, but from one other color to the next. Let's see. Okay, that's not bad. All right, where were we? Soften up where those lights hit. Okay, so far that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what we did just earlier. And now let's see if we can come in with a little bit of, should I do colored pencils or should I do, let's lighten up this part of her ear here. Give that ear a little bit of three-dimensional qualities here. The earlobe is hitting the light a little bit more in focus, more directly. Let that dry, then we'll come in and we'll dust that with our raw sienna. Here, it's a little bit lighter on this side plane. I'm not sure why, but I think it's a good idea to hit that. Just soften that up, right? Make her look more feminine. So right here at the supraorbital eminence here and here, we should indicate that a little bit. Pump that trigger from far away, and that will lighten the spray. The forehead can be very expressive if you get the structure of the anatomy, right? It's not just a plate of metal. There's a lot going on in the forehead. All right, so now we're coming back in with our raw sienna, working her back and forth. And I'm going to glaze this part of the ear that we just lightened up. And we may have to repeat that process, but at least the ear is starting to look a little more alive. Right here. Hit that again. Just didn't want to take the first time. And then we'll let that dry and then we'll hit that again. Some areas where you may feel that the raw sienna is a little too strong, you could dust it from like 6 inches away with the orange white mixture. And it just kind of quiets it down ever so slightly. So I'm feeling pretty good about her so far. I like what we did in the neck. She has a lot of softness in the sternocleidomastoid. But before, I definitely want to soften up this ear. There we go. And then we'll work back and forth. But I am much happier with it. I can come in with colored pencils and do some really nice detail if I want, which is really great. So now let's see. We can come in with some paintbrush techniques to work on some of the hair. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix that hair color. It's a nice rich dark. I'm going to go a little bit thinner because I want to paint some of those hairs that are kind of flyaway hairs. All right. I'll try different brushes and see which one works best. I'm not sure just yet. Okay. Always look at your reference. The thing about hair is that it'll show up and disappear and then show up again, which is really interesting about hair. Going to thin this out really nicely with the open thinner. Try not to make the hair connect, like a big piece of spaghetti. Try and make it kind of come and go. And you can hold it from further away because it will be lighter pressure. Now I'll come in a little bit thicker, kind of change the contour of the hair a little bit here. Now I did soften this up here, but I want to make sure I'm not over softening. Like right here, I think we have a nice hard edge with this trapezius coming down. And you want to create that kind of, the variety of edges, but not for the sake of variety of edges. Look and see where those variety edges are. I see this portrait of what I had envisioned was like almost like either an ancient Roman, uh, those paintings that were on the sarcophagi, at the Met, from like, I don't know, like 200 BC or something like that. More like 70 AD, around that time, like Pompeii and Herculaneum. That's kind of what I had envisioned with this piece. And that's why I went ahead and used this crackle paste right here. And what that does, it kind of creates this kind of feeling like it's on a wall. That's what I wanted to, portray. So I see her. She could definitely be an ancient Roman, couldn't she? She has no modern attributes that would put her at any time period. So I guess I'm coming into the final stages. I'm going to finish it this week. Next week I'll do something else, something new. Ooh, we have some really nice stray hairs here. And now I could come in with a real nice liner brush if I can find one. Hey, Mr. Todd, how are you all the way from San Diego? Great to see you, my friend. How you been? This one is a bit thinner. Let's see if it works for us. Oh, yeah. We can zoom in. Oh, cool. Well, dinner's important, my friend. So I'm glad you got a chance to hang out before the end of the evening. It's always great to see you. Now let's do some colored pencil action here, if this is dry enough. It's nice how it cures really quickly. I'm going to grab this color. Let's see how this goes. I can go ahead and define my sternocleidomastoid just a bit better. And here's our retroabicularis oculi fat pad right here. And you can see I can actually come in and really zoom in here and show you. So it looks like it's not painted on, it's actually hairs. And again, if that's a little bit too crazy white, I can always come in and kind of dust that. Kind of control that. So there's always moments when we get overzealous. Soften this area right here. And colored pencils are great because they could just lightly calm it down. Same thing with what's going on in here. I could just lightly calm this down. Now, this right here is a little problematic for me. Just want to see if I could kind of calm this down. That looks much better already. So now there's something called subsurface scattering. And what I need to do is lighten the dullness of the nostril. Because what happens is that light is going to be bouncing around inside this cartilage and then moving around and come right back out. So now I'm going to look for a really serious orange here. Something extremely luminous. This may be too much, but let's see. See, that looks better. There's more life in there. The nostril is not this black hole. Same thing in between the lips here. It's dark. I'm just going to glaze it with this fleshy color right here. Much better. Same thing with anywhere where you see like a crease or something like that and the color is dead, that's not taken in account for subsurface scattering. So in the ear, it's actually very accentuated or overly accentuated. But that's important because the ear has light going in and out of it. So light goes in, it bounces around, and it comes right back out. It's quite fascinating. Even underneath the ear, it's not black. And now when we zoom out, that ear looks so much more like there's some life in her ear. You feel the light going in and out. So important. And with this color, we could actually go in and kind of glaze some life into the dark part of her neck here. So right in here, you see the crease of this eye. If we really look at it, we can be honest and say, you know what? That does not have the life that I'm looking for. I'm going to go back to that really vibrant color I had earlier. I'm going to infuse that into the darks of the crease here. You feel that blood underneath her skin kind of glowing. Much better, right? To have that kind of glow. Well, we don't have too much going on this side, but we definitely can bring some life into this dark here. Don't get caught up in what it looks like up close, because from a good distance, the eye will definitely help you out there. Let's see here. Be right back. Let's see what this does. This is total experimenting here. Let's see. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some turpentine or mineral spirits, and I'm smoothing out this area. And I like that better, and when that dries, I'm going to come back in with more colored pencils. But I just wanted to get rid of whatever was causing that kind of smokiness. I didn't like the texture. So now if I zoom out, it looks much better. Not perfect yet. And now I'm going to come back in and see how that goes. But I do like the eye texture much better already. And that should dry pretty quickly because it is just turpentine. Now, how quickly is that drying? Now I'm going to try and come back in with that gray I had and see what it does. I don't know what it's going to do. Well, I don't need to lighten it, that's for sure. Let's come in with that dark brown. This is nice right here. There we go, that feels a little bit better. Okay, now let's go ahead and mix up the sclera. Let's see how this goes. Much better. Feeling much better about that. Put a little bit of color in the corner of that eye. Great. All right, not bad. I'll take it. Oh, Mr. Tone says he's going to catch up with me next week. Oh, great. I hope so. It'll be great to see you. Got to jump in the shower, and hit your back. Oh man, take care, my friend. Great to talk to you, and hope to see you around on social media before then. Keep doing the great work, Mr. Tone. Let's see. So now, which I'm going to do is work on the soft edge here. It looks a little crazy, right? So I'm going to soften this up. And also, I think I'm okay so far. Right here. So basically I'm gonna do this with paintbrush, you know? So as you can see, I'm using everything. I'm using airbrush, I'm using paintbrush and golden acrylics, I'm using colored pencils, whatever gets the job done. You know, I kind of like that one color that we were working with earlier. Let's see what this will do here. Kind of like a glaze. It's kind of softening that up, that edge there. Just like, it's almost like a nice light fabric. I'm creating a glaze, very transparent color. Very nice effect. Now it doesn't look like, you know, something unnatural. Now I want to hit those lips, the lights on the lips. I want to put a couple of nice spectral highlights. Not with colored pencil. This is a job for the paintbrush. So I'm going to use some white and just a little bit of red orange. I want this to be powerful. So let's see. Whiten out just a little bit. We want to create some randomness with this highlight here. disconnect it. Do something that is not predictable. Just trying to get some beauty. Let's see what this does here. Okay, now we can zoom out. Ooh. See, that's not good. See, I got a little bit of the paint from her. So I have to do some cleanup. But since I've been working so long in acrylic, that this should be able to just wipe off. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, see that? I was able to clean that with water. Isn't that wonderful? Whoop. I think I might have so right here in her shoulder, I got a little bit of a mistake having to do with, you know, a little bit of water that got on there, I think. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and repair this. We got this. Just kind of soften the edges here. Nothing we can't handle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep working back and forth. I may have to come in with some paintbrush techniques, but it's nothing that can't be fixed. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Todd. See, it's just patience and working that out. and kind of getting rid of that edge as we go. But accidents do happen. It's how you handle them. That's the important thing. So now you can see how I have to regulate that surface because it was way too bright at one time, you know? And you can see how quickly I'm able to just calm down and work that out. Skin is naturally blotchy, so it's not as difficult to fix something as you would imagine. You just have to stay calm. But now look, we done it. Now I even forced me to improve that area, which is great, you know? So we learned a lot tonight. We learned that when mistakes happen, that's when you have to get brave and you have to be calm and know that you have to work this out slowly. Also, at the end of the painting, be extra careful for mistakes that could jeopardize all your work, right? Be extra neat and cautious at the end of a painting. So remember that is also very important lesson from tonight. Now I'm looking for my freehand shield. Here it is. And let me just dust this one more time. There we go. So I actually feel that I adjusted it and fixed it. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I think I'm close to completion of this beautiful portrait. I hope you guys like it. Please like and subscribe. Next week, God willing, I will be starting a new airbrush painting. And we will be utilizing paintbrush techniques, heavy bodied acrylics. fluid acrylics, open acrylics, colored pencils, you name it. We're going to go over the techniques together. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And I will talk to everyone soon.